What's up, Aaron? Aaron, I got you tracking info, right? Just sent out a couple boxes. I think I got tracking info to everybody, but just want to make sure. What's up, Mike? Okay, perfect. Sorry, my mind is mush already. How's everybody's Monday going? Give another minute for peeps to hop in. What's up, Larry? You doing all right, my friend? What's up, Rob? I gotta check your other two messages. We got some pork loin on the Easy Bake Oven, which is the electric smoker right now. What's up, Jerzier? So I don't have wife's in there. She brought some work home, so figured I would sneak out here and get some turning. Where are you at, Mike? Arizona? Nevada? So we're gonna get some turns in. I don't know how many, but I'm just gonna kind of go and just roll with it. Jerzier, I became a staunch wet shaving enthusiast about 3 years ago. So most of my YouTube channel revolves around wet shaving, traditional wet shaving, like how our grandparents did it. And then more recently, like the last 4 or 5 months, I have actually started turning shaving brush handles. So a lot of what you'll see recently and when I go live like this is me creating shaving brush handles, not too dissimilar to that. Which if we get, it seems like people are enjoying these videos, so we've had quite a few in here recently, and I actually thought that might be a good thing to point out, what it is I'm doing. A lot of people ask like what I'm doing, and like that is another one. What is this channel's dream goal? Gosh, we got some good interview questions going on right now. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't really have a dream goal with it. More so just enjoy being able to bring everybody along the creation process, the creative process right now with making shave brush handles, the wet shaving side of things, spreading awareness of wet shaving, engaging with beginner wet shavers, moderately experienced wet shavers, and then obviously experts as well, and just kind of spreading awareness. It's really all just for fun. I mean, I don't plan on retiring on a YouTube wet shaving channel, so I don't really have a whole lot of goals for it, to be honest with you. I have a lot of friends that will join in the lives that really just like to kind of see how the magic happens. So that's kind of it. On that note, USPS lost a very well-made brush that I did for a customer about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if they will find it or not. So as such, the only thing I know to make it right is to remake it and try to send them another one. So I think that's what we're going to start off with today for the turn. This is my Ronin pour. The customer was really excited about it. It's kind of a gut punch because I hate that like the customer gets all excited about getting a new brush in and they're all amped about it, and I send them all the videos that they are all good to go, and then the postal service just loses the package. So and not only does it impact the customer, but also like it took me, I spend 2.5, 3, sometimes 4 hours working on these brushes. So it's just a gut punch that like USPS just casually loses it. But it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and get rolling with that. I'm gonna try to come close to the handle that I did last time for him, and hopefully it's solid. This is my Ronin pour, which is essentially like a deep red, like really deep, beautiful, vibrant red color, mixed with like a really beautiful, deep kind of dark gray, like a steel gray tone to it. Kind of see how that looks right there. Pretty cool. We'll flip it around. We'll do that ferrule first and see what happens. So for those that have just joined that are curious what I'm making, I am making a shave brush handle for traditional wet shaving. And you would use a shaving brush, man or woman, to shave your, whatever your shaving needs are. There will be a shaving knot, not too dissimilar to this one, that you would then use with shave soap to make a lather. Just a much more sustainable, enjoyable way to carry out all of your shaving needs. Majority of people, their skin responds much better. The brushes are kind of cool because you can kind of find one from some of the artisans that really suits your eye. It captures a little bit of your personality, a little bit of the artisan's personality. You can do resin if you prefer wood. Artisans will do wood brushes. This in particular is a resin brush, obviously. And every brush, since they're all hand poured, essentially is a one of one. Like this is a Ronin pour, so I can mimic the colors, I can like try to get close to the effect, but every brush is going to have its own individual fingerprint to it. Which as a consumer, before I started turning, was one of the most attractive things to me about the brushes, because you can, pretty much every brush is a one-of-one piece of art. You can have 3 people that have a Ronin pour, but they're all going to look a little bit different. black and purple too. This one, I think that's my Raiden one. See if I can find it. Yeah. So this is Raiden, Rob. So, for those of y'all that have just joined or have seen a couple of these now and have been curious, that is essentially what a shaving brush is and what I am making. Follow where the socket kind of ends. Right there. And that just kind of lets me know where I can go up to not get too thin. I think that ferrule's looking pretty good. I don't want to go too much thinner on it. I might just detail up underneath it just a touch. Right. Let's go ahead and flip her around. And this will give you a sense of what the pour is looking like. that red, kind of deep, vibrant, sort of gray color to it. Very cool. What's up, Carl 06K? Vlog Mr. Malik. Alright, so then we're going to turn it around, finish the bottom. Live center in just because it is quite lighter. What's up, Ollie? It's frustrating because that first one that I did was like perfect, and well, this one's still pretty close, but I just frustrating. customer wanted a shape, basically a recreation of a shape that I've done before. Which I'm always down to try to recreate, but being that I'm still green, it's hard to be exact to the T every single time. What's up, Celine? Dwayne, Walter Perry. Coin hole. Is a negative rake. It essentially serves as like a dual bevel. It allows me to just kind of level the surface to make it easier for sanding. Back to the live center because there's quite a bit of chatter there. What's up, Ermelindo? Nila. Now we start the sanding process a little bit. What's up, Aaron? Cicero Antonio. This is called cross sanding. When I am turning like that, inevitably it creates these like little turning lines and ridges, which prevent you from getting the maximum polish that you can. So if you cross sand it down and smooth out that surface, it makes your ultimate wet sanding and everything much more effective. What's up, Thomas Aiken? What's up, Edivar? Alright. If anybody enjoys watching this, if you find it somewhat therapeutic, do me a favor, just hit the live with a like right now. Click on my channel, go subscribe. I do these lives quite frequently now. Just so then you're aware every time I do go live. So go ahead and just subscribe if you don't mind. And then that way you'll know. I do occasional giveaways as well when I am live, so you can always have a shot. There's always an outside chance that you're going to win a brush too. Yeah, that's right, Rob. Rob, I'm a little upset. This isn't going to look as good as the first one that I did for him, but we'll see what you think. My hope is that maybe it's already in Ireland or something like that, and it just shows up at his doorstep. I don't know, but in which case, maybe he'll be kind enough to let you keep this one. Apparently YouTube caps the number of viewers you can have based on your number of subscriptions. But, boy, thank you everybody that is joined right now, that is in here watching. Like I said, if you're enjoying, this is the boring part. The non-turning is the boring part. But if you're enjoying what you see, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Alright, I cut some more 800 real quick, apparently. We're just going to do 400. I don't normally like doing 400 on the inside of the barrel because it can take a little too much material and actually widen out that, but this is a pretty smooth barrel to begin with. Yeah, thanks, Gerzire. Appreciate it. It's been really kind of fun these last couple of weeks, engaging with a whole new, I don't know if you want to say community of YouTubers, but a whole different, a lot more different walks of life, which has been really cool. I'm a people person. I like to. I enjoy meeting different people and hearing their stories, so it's been kind of cool doing these lives and seeing a lot of different people that I've never seen come across my channel or Instagram that have joined the live, so that's been cool. What's up, Kevin? Alright, then we're going to drill this mandrel hole real quick, and then I think I'm going to wet sand it real quick as well. Let's not bury that. Oh, thanks, Earthquake. Appreciate it, man. Oh, thanks, Gary. I'm glad you enjoy it, my friend. Happy to have you along for the ride. So we've got quite a few people in here right now. For those of y'all that are not aware of what I'm making, this is a shaving brush for traditional wet shaving. And I make them out of resin and wood. And essentially, if you are relatively unfamiliar with what traditional wet shaving is, it's essentially using a shave soap or a shave cream, using some kind of a brush with a knot in it, an old double-edged razor to shave with. And a majority of guys, their skin responds much better. There's a lot more skin foods in the shaving soaps or creams versus like a you know, the canned edge shave goop gel type of deal. Rob, what you think of that? It's a little different than the other one, but it's still kind of in the same breath. So again, if anybody would like a brush in this pour, you would just reach out to me, DM me, and I will, this is called my Ronin pour. You would just tell me, hey, I'd like a Ronin pour, and then we'll go from there on like a shape. Or if you just want me to kind of free ball it, I can also free ball it as well. So that's my Ronin pour. You can see some reds, Japanese steel gray. I am going to wet sand it right now real quick so that I can expedite the finishing process a little bit. So again, not the most exciting part about the lives, but it really expedites my production level. I mean, I told them, Rob, I'm like, you know, if you want me to refund you, I can refund you. I'm sending Rob a package anyways, so I just want him to be happy at the end of the day. I just feel really bad that that first one turned out damn near perfect, and I got his hopes up with it by sending him the video and everything, and he's got a tracking number, and it just has not, hasn't even updated. So now I need to find my chuck key, and then I will be good to go. Because I think it fell off the magnet. Yep. It's pretty daggum close. It's just a touch like longer in the neck. That's really the only difference. All right, get my setup. So then for those curious, I am about to, what's up, Wanban? About to start wet sanding this, and you basically want to wet sand resin because it's a lot more delicate and heat resistant on the resin, so it doesn't create deformities like dry sanding can with all of the friction generated. And then you can also, you go up in grit to basically unlock different levels of polish on the handle. So here we go. This is a family channel, so I am not sure that I can repeat your username, sir. But thank you, Dan. So the on-camera finishing that I do, the wet sanding usually takes, depending on how many nooks and crannies there are, difficult spots to get into, usually about 10-15 minutes, something like that. And then I have additional polishing steps after this that usually take anywhere from like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. What's up, Mike? Dang, that camera is way off. Y'all can't really see much anyways aside from my hand. But then usually, Dan, I'll come back and we'll finish this one up real quick. And then I will turn another one here in a second. And like I mentioned to those who just joined, we will do giveaways every once in a while. So there's always a chance to win a brush that I make. One. We gotta wash this cloth. We're gonna have to refill the alcohol too. All right. So if there's anybody in the crowd that has not traditional wet shaved or doesn't know what it is, raise your hand. It's not just specific to men. Well, JJ Blaker, if you have never bought a wet shaving brush, you're in the right place. Something tells me you have, though. Alright. Well, I would ask, honestly, Rob, the best advice I'd give you is ask any Irishman that you know what some good smelling scents are. Because apparently those Irishmen aren't just handsome and know how to cook a damn good corned beef. But apparently they also know how to smell good too. So I would just reach out to any local Irishman that you might know. Gosh, it is so buggy in my garage right now. Bugs all over my legs. Just eating me up. bored of life. Always happens with the daggone 2000. Alright. So we're having for dinner tonight. Anything good? I love a good Mediterranean food. Just having like gyros, chicken souvlaki, grape leaves. Well, my manliness just went down seeing what Barry that's having for dinner. Are you Clint Eastwood? Yeah, now we're talking, Kevin. That's great advice. Yeah, I guess it does look like a shot glass. What's up, Orlando? Doug Rucker. So Doug, this is a shaving brush handle. So for traditional wet shavers who like to traditional wet shave, you would put a knot in this, and then this is how you would make your lather. All right. That's it. We're good. All right, so next turn, I think we're going to do this kind of hidden gem one. Go ahead and show this one off real quick. That is what we're left with, and then that has still got some polishing left to do, and then that one will be good to go. All right, clean this up, change the water. Right now, we'll save wet sand the next one because I'm gonna run out of water. Be right back. All right, sorry, wife had a question about dinner. All right, let's get back into another turn, huh? Yeah, so Doug, it's a shaving brush. Sorry, I thought I answered that. Get a knot. And where is it? So it's got a socket up top. You just put like a shaving knot in it. And then that's what you would use to make your lather on your face with. Or in a bowl, however you choose to. So that is essentially what a shaving brush is. What's up, Naz? All right, let's go ahead and get into another one, huh? And like I said, I'm out of water here in the garage, so I will have to wet sand later. Got a whole backlog of brushes I gotta wet sand and finish, but all right. So next up, we are going to do this kind of, it looks like it's got some pinks, some golds, maybe some greens, purple, and almost like a translucent color shift to it. So I've been kind of curious about this one in the blank box for a little while now. So go ahead and turn that one next. Kind of trying to get to the point where I have no blanks left, and then I just have to wet sand live all the time. That would be kind of interesting. Highly boring for y'all. Alright, here we go. Where are the rest of the boys at? Glitter or some air bubbles, so I'm going to take down just a little bit more. The top of the blank typically will have the most air bubbles in it, if there are any, solely because when you pressurize the pot, it's pushing it down. So as that resin is starting to harden up and cure, all those little air bubbles that rise to the top can sometimes get trapped like in that last 20 or 30 millimeters. Alright, see what kind of trouble we can get into. And I think this one, I might just do like my, kind of my standard signature shape for one of them. like that, and then we'll probably just taper something. Yeah, I like that. I think that ferrule is going to look really cool. Go ahead and finish this. What's up, Kevin? Punam Gurung. Doesn't look like any air bubbles though, so that's good. This is an older blank, so that's always kind of what I worry about before I started getting really good at pouring. Honestly, JJ, I can't remember which one that one is. I kind of named them like right in that video, so I'd have to go back and watch the video. I can't remember which one that one is. I think that was the taller one. But I tried to name those based off of Revolutionary War themes. And being from New York, Fort Ticonderoga is a place that we visited quite often. Now I haven't done that ferrule a lot, but I've been doing that kind of tapered look with a rounded bottom a little bit. You know what? Maybe the next brush, maybe we'll do that. Because it should be, yeah, maybe the next brush. After this one, we'll do that shape. How about that? Yeah, thanks, Kevin. That was one of my best jar styles. It's a little on the smaller end compared to some of the other ones I've been doing lately, but just the way it sits in your hand, the roundness of it, believe it or not, the getting something like perfectly circular around like that is actually much more difficult than I would have thought it would be. All right, let me think about what to do here. Oh yeah, that one's nasty. Yeah, this pour is nasty. All right, man, have fun. I'm trying to think. I might do that. I think I'm going to do that. Stop that tapering on this one. I'm going to do that tapering on this one, but I'm going to leave it really round on the back end. Well, hopefully, Mike, you're posted up with a nice libation, post-dinner, well-fed, relaxing. That's about as much as I could ask for. I like the way this one's looking. Fan is nowhere near me. No wonder why I'm freaking drenched. Feels pretty good. What's up, Nate? Yeah, that feels pretty daggone good for somewhat, I mean, it's not super short, but somewhat of a shorter handle. That feels pretty daggone good. Coin hole. Yeah, you might want to stick around for the reveal of this one, JJ. I didn't really show off the barrel, but this one's probably going to be a center on the way back. nice piece of Avernet. I mean, you do technically already have one on the way, Nick, so I would say that it's time for a restock. Especially if your cupboards are empty. What's up, Eric? There's no rain and shoes. This is a very basic handle shape, but I think it's going to be a crowd pleaser. This is one of the, I have about 6 or 7 Solon designs in my repertoire. This is one that I revisit quite frequently. Alright, here we go. Drill this main drill hole. Couple things I gotta get. Another mini tool so I can put a square regular rig on it. Also another Jacobs chuck so I don't have to keep switching between. I mean, I don't think Willy Wonka put every ingredient on his chocolate bars. Alright, let's see what this one looks like. I am pretty curious myself. Let me fill up the alcohol. And then we'll probably do that aquatic one that Eric wanted to see. And then I gotta move this fan because I am freaking dying right now. Put this black shop smock on, 98-degree garage. It's gotta get a shop fan too, but I'm gonna just gotta figure out my situation first. All right, where did it go? Yeah, that's that one's pretty cool. There's literally like almost like galaxy swirls in this one that y'all, of course, probably can't even see. What's up, Rabbit? There's like layers of almost like a greenish gold to it. Pinks, purples. It literally looks like a nebulous galaxy. This one's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. There you go, that's a good shot at kind of like the pinkish, purpley. That's right, Rabbit. And again, that's a little, probably a mid-size height, but that shape, super comfortable. Yeah, I like that one. That one's pretty cool. All right. Is JJ still in here? We could probably try that Ticonderoga one. We could call that one Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica for sure. I just started lightly rewatching The Office. All right. Couple options. The Oregon Ducks one. Yellow, green, gold, black. The semi-aquatic, marbly pour kind of one that Eric was curious about the other day. Yeah, that's a perfect match for Cologne Rousse. Would look really badass with, especially the topographic one. All right, aquatic it is. People have spoken. And it almost has like a subtle marble to it on top. I don't know how deep that goes in, but I think we're gonna try to make that one the, we're gonna try to make that one, that side the ferrule, for sure. So, yeah, so let's just trim off the bottom like we usually do and get into this one. Look like. Oh wow, If you guys could see the depth in there, that one's pretty cool. All right. Oh yeah, we're gonna call this one Splash. How about that? But not Splash 2. Splash 1, Daryl Hannah, Tom Hanks, John Candy. Amazing. Try to be gentle in that marbled area, and then let's drill the coin hole, or the ferrule. Yeah, I'm talking Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah, Eugene Levy, young Eugene Levy. Wouldn't shortchange me on my splash. Actually, we gotta shape it still. I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to see what this one looks like. Now, Eric, you saying this looks like Eric, that's not you claiming this, is it? Oh my word. I'm not sure how I did this one, but this one is wild. I don't know if y'all can see that. All right, well, since you won it, Eric, and we're not past the point of no return, what side's not? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all can see this. That serious. All right, let me make sure that I can go 30. And then you got to think of a shape. Yeah, you can do 30. All right, 30 for sure, Eric? Also, did y'all see how quickly Eric was like mine? All right.
that drill, I'm not used to my 30. Okay, Eric, you got a little bit deeper hole there. Whatever. Let me think. I might try something new. All right, Eric, you trust me? If you don't like it, I'll keep it. Trying to keep as much of that marbling in as we can, but I think the way those ribbons were cascading within there, I think it's going to kind of dance up that kind of round ferrule. And I could be totally wrong. Because of the lines. Oh my gosh. This might be one of the coolest boards I've ever done. So it sounds like I'm going to do 6 more like this tomorrow. I just poured this one the other day. It was like an experimental pour. And I remember exactly how I did it, I think. So hopefully I can recreate. Alright, so I wish I could, man. Y'all, do you see that ferrule? Alright, I think I know what I'm going to do. Let that alcohol dissipate. And then we're going to flip it because I really want to nail the end of this. Knowing who it's for, I think I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to shape this. But just so y'all can see what I'm looking at,
That's unreal.
Yeah, there's at least one artisan I know that's going to be really upset when they see me post that one. Alright, how do I want to do this? Live center for sure. Make sure I swap this out for when I do the coin hole. Y'all, if I can recreate this pour, that's going to be the merman pour. And we're going to have to make a Yeti coin. Alright, so Eric is a huge fan of my jar style shapes. So we're going to try to get a little funky with this one. And we're going to try to go 2 shapes in 1. I made Eric a handle called Atchafalaya to go with his Atchafalaya release, and he has since told me quite a few times that that is his favorite handle, one of the most comfortable ones that he's got. So we're going to try to do it one better. Also, I don't make 30mm handles that are just tiny. Yeah, it might not be the cleanest, Eric, but you see what I'm going for. When I do this, I'm feeling for rough edges, pointed spots, humps. Just because it's for King Cajun, we're gonna go with a fresh sheet of Aberdeen. See you, Jersey. Thanks for joining, my friend. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. It's good having you. I will say I'm really glad that we decided to make the end of the ferrule what we did. I don't know, Eric, should we call this one Destin? Mike, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I can't make any promises. I remember how I poured it. I don't know if it will look exactly the same. But again, that's why I got to pour another one tonight while I can actually, by some miracle, still remember how I did this one the other day. And I will let you know. I've done a few that have ended up like this. Yeah, Eric, I think we're going to have a new favorite. You got bigger hands than me, so it might be a touch short, but I think you'll like it. I was just limited by the blank size, but like if this blank were maybe another like 1/8 of an inch, it'd be perfect for you. But this is going to be badass. This is probably going to end up being one of the most pretty handles that I've ever made. Just judging by this barrel. Short and wide. You're going to make me blush. Making me drop stuff over here. What's up, Juan? Eric, Juan is a fellow Louisianan. And he actually just inherited a few Cajun blade samples with his last brush order. So Juan, I believe, got Nepike. I can't remember what else. But I remember I sent like 3 or 4 Cajun blade samples. I hope you don't mind me blowing up your spot like that, one. Alright, can you get some 800? In case y'all are curious, I'm cheap as hell. So I literally just buy whatever I can on eBay of Abernet, whatever a good deal is, and then I cut it down. good enough for now. But yeah, Mike, if I can recreate it, I'll try to remember to message you. And then I think you're first on the list for it. I didn't see anybody else in here wanting to claim one. All right, there's that. Yeah, when this thing finishes up, it's gonna be kind of wild. Oh, I think I know what color this was. I remember what color this was now. Y'all. I mean, the ferrule on this one is isn't that amazing? So, what I was going for, that I kind of pulled off, kind of not exactly what I was picturing. I wanted to add like a really nice ferrule that would really kind of show off that marbling up there. I mean, just looking inside the isn't that wild? That would show off that marbling up top, but then Eric loves my jar style handles, so I kind of tried to just make the bottom of it a jar. And if it were just a touch longer, it would be like ideal for his hands. So Eric loves him some big boy synthetics, big boy knots in general. So that is board for a 30. So I will get that finished, and I mean, just look at like the shimmering. When this one polishes up, this is probably, Eric, this might get my Regal Yeti coin. Unless you, I think you already have one. I don't know, I gotta think on what coin would go in that. Yeah, Pablo, it's that's what it is, my friend. Shaving brush. Alright, so this one I poured kind of similarly, slightly different. This one was Sabres themed. So I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna run to dinner. I'm pretty sure dinner's ready. So I'm just gonna get this one in real quick, but that last one was so good. I kind of want to crack that one too. Yeah, man, no problem, Mike. And then if you are interested as well, I do have several that are either finished and ready to be shipped out or on the way. Yeah, this is just like a deep blue and like a goldish yellow. Just Buffalo Sabres colors. So, but I essentially did the same technique as I did with that last one with this one. So we'll see. I haven't been pouring too much lately because I'm really trying to work my way through a box of 60 other blanks that I already have poured. But I did get a semi-wild hair of inspiration the other day and decided to pour some. And right away, I mean, this is I don't know if y'all can see that. But that's off to a good start already. And I think this one we're going to do that taller kind of Ticonderoga shape that I did for the 1776 collab. If I can really remember how I did it. Kind of cool colors to those ribbons. What's up, Dino? Dino, you just missed a banger. For Eric. Alright. Dang, those are some scraps I should probably save. Those look pretty cool. Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. It's not giving me big time Sabres vibes, but it is giving me paint splotch like pretty kick-ass graffiti vibes. You missed a total banger of a pour. Oh, Kraken's another good name for it too. I don't remember how tight it went in. I think it's pretty tight. Alright, that's kind of all she wrote from that side, I think. Well, maybe we'll make it a little bigger, a little deeper. So Dino, this is the one you missed. This one's headed to Louisiana. So far, that's how we're looking on this one. Some of them almost blended to like a green. Yep. Hopefully not too perfect, because he's supposed to come see me about a white water handle. Oh, my bad. I'm going to give you some spoiler alerts. I don't know if y'all can see those ribbons. I might save some of those.
up, Manuel?
Definitely not Saber's vibes, but definitely more of like a Mario paint type of a deal. And I think we're just gonna like super round it off. Now we'll flatten it just a little. There are some artisans that'll do that. You're talking about like the ribbons when it's spinning. You probably could do that. I don't know. My hand works really well. But you do, to your point, you do get sliced every once in a while and some burning, but there's no issues during urination or anything like that. What's up, Timoteo? Pretty dang unclean already. So, not gonna lie, this is not how I thought this blank would end up. But, still very cool. I don't remember using that much white, and this seems like there's a lot of white. So Leaker, this is a shaving brush handle for traditional wet shaving. Could also be a makeup brush. Yep. All right, here we go. Wild colors throughout there, very vibrant. I'm not sure how they mixed because the color separation should have been pretty damn good. But there are some spots where the yellow and the blue almost blended to create like a green. y'all think. And JJ, if you come back or if you see this, there's that Ticonderoga-esque shape. Pretty cool. That one's going to be a beauty all finished up. That one's going to be really nice all finished up. So there's that. I'm going to go start the air compressor. Do you have any questions? Concerns? Garage is a freaking mess. I think we did another 4 tonight, and I have about 30 here that need to be sanded. So I got some dye on me. Yep. Problem with pouring resin and using dyes. Dyes are so crucial, and then you spill them one time, or you wear gloves and you get like just a touch on you, and it is everywhere. Pure alcohol feels great after a shave. All right, I'm gonna put this down. I'm ready to go cool off. Finally eat some dinner too. All right, gents. Actually, I'll give a recap real quick. Where are they at? So starting off, we did a redo USPS. Lost a customer's brush that I made for him. So did a redo that I'm going to send him. That was what we did first. Second was did we only do 3? I think we only did 3. I can't remember. Turn about 30 brushes a week. To recap, this was the one that Eric claimed almost immediately, and you can really kind of see those color shifts in that light and the beauty of that ferrule. That blue is actually like a translucent blue, so you can kind of see where the light is kind of hitting that blue. And again, that ferrule is just gorgeous. Big chunky handle for a beautiful chunky man. And then this was the last one that we just did. Kind of like Mario paint. I don't know. That's just what's kind of jogging my mind. There's some really cool iridescence in that blue in there when the light hits it just right. There you go. You can kind of see it right there. Kind of adds like a ton of depth. So this one
is available. If anybody's interested in this one is available. The other two that we did tonight were claimed. If anybody's interested in seeing what I have available right now, that's like ready to be shipped out, I'd have to check. I think I've still got 3 or 4, but thank God for y'all. You guys have really taken to these brushes, and I actually just shipped out about 8 or 9 brushes today. So inventory did kind of take a hit, thankfully. Appreciate every one of y'all. But I still think I have a couple more available that are like ready to be shipped out like tomorrow. So just DM me, Facebook, Instagram. My email is on my profile as well. If you just send me political emails, I will probably tell you, like, you know, I would love if you buy a brush from me. All customers are welcome. Also don't really want to get blown up with political emails all the time either, so please do keep me off that send list. But that's about it. If you guys have any questions, get a hold of me. I have about 30 here that are ready to be sanded. So if you have specific colors in mind, if something you're looking at, let me know. I might already have one turned, and then we'll kind of go from there. So on that note, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. Thank you everybody for joining me. Another good session tonight. Appreciate y'all for sticking by and hanging out. So I will catch y'all later.